Hello everyone. How to document your ancestral storyline. Today I'm sharing with you a new tool that I am using to create ancestral cards. This software is called Trello. It's free to use. Just go to trello.com. What you're looking at now is one of my boards. And on the board are several cards related to my family ancestors. So here in the first list you can see there's a copy of my family tree for the Allery family. And I'm going on a bit of a search for my treasures for my great-grandfather Samuel John Allery. And he of course is in my paternal line. So in this list I've got a photo of my mum and dad, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather. And it's Samuel's story that I want to tell. So what I've done for his storyline in the next list is to plot some of those pieces of his story about him being a tailor. Right up the front I've put in a copy of the baptism record, which shows that he was baptized on the same day as his brother William Adrian, which you can see here, who you can see in the next list. More about him in a moment. Under the baptism I've now got a picture of great-grandfather Samuel John in his garden. Now I never knew great-grandfather Samuel John because he died the year before I was born. But I knew some of the things about his tailoring dynasty when he was first a tailor and living and working in London, England, and how he became a master tailor, and how later in his life he was given the freedom of the city. I have a digitized copy of the freedom of the city, and under that I have a picture of the location of where he was currently located for his tailoring business in Carter's Lane, which is mentioned in the picture showing here for his freedom of the city. So each card, I'll just bring one up here, this one is an example, can have all sorts of things in it. For example, this one shows that city admission papers for the freedom of the city. So I click on that, it will make that picture a bit larger for you to read. I get a great kick out of seeing old documents in handwriting, as this one is. And this is the pivotal part of the story that I want to dig deeper for my great-grandfather. So coming back to the cards, let's go back to the lists. I can keep adding into this storyline for my great-grandfather by adding another card. It's pretty simple. I can give it a title. And I can add another image in there. This will round out the story of my great-grandfather and make it an interesting little snippet to pass on to my grandchildren. One of the things that I want to include in the story is his relationship with his brother, William Adrian, who you can see in the next list. Now, William Adrian was a genealogist, but he got into a bit of strife back in the 1920s. He tried to claim his inheritance. He was a tailor like his brother, but in trying to claim that, he ended up in jail at the age of 84. He was trying to make claim for the Angel estate in South London. So I was wondering how that might have affected my great-grandfather Samuel, what he would think about his brother's exploits at the time. So that's another little side angle to bring into my story for my great-grandfather. I was lucky enough to also have a link to this place called One Name Guild. I'm going to take you there now. One of the people who are currently studying the Allery history has put together a massive amount of information about the Allery family, and I was so lucky. Here are all the pieces that I needed for my great-grandfather, Samuel John. All of his data is showing here, and I can scroll through this to find out even more. One of the things that I noticed as I was scrolling through all the residences was the amount of times that he moved. And I know that that was a feature from my own father in his days of being in London and here in Australia. So I wanted to bring that angle into the story, and how that particular exploit of being a bit of a wanderer was passed on down the line. So you can see many, many different changes of residences. Another really wonderful aspect of finding the One Name Guild was that all the documentation is already there. All of those images I can pick up, and here's where I found some extra photos. So it's a great thing to do. Go to the One Name net and find out if your family name is currently being explored by other people. You never know what other treasures you'll be able to find. And once you've done that, set up a Trello board like this one and add in those treasures to start building your storyline. This is one way, my way, to document your ancestor storyline.